3D printing has some life hacks. I would call them life hacks. If you want to know more, stay tuned. Zachary 3D Print coming up. My name is Zachary from Zachary 3D Prints, bringing you how-to reviews and other things concerning 3D printing. And as you can hear in the intro, also 3D printing has some life hacks. What are those life hacks? Well, it can save your printing. For example, when you start with 3D printing and you have rolls with almost nothing on it, can you calculate how much that you have on your spool left? Well, when you are using always the same kind of brand of filament, then I've got some nice thing that you can use. It's quite simple, a scale. My scale, my roll of filament, do I have one empty here? Those bags can also save your remain filament if you are changing over to a other kind of filament. So, like I said, I'm always using the same kind of brand, and so last week or last time I did a review on Fill-Rite filament. I will put the link in the upper right corner if you want to check out the review about that filament. This is an empty spool. Every spool should have around the same kind of weight. In this case, well, the scale is going off again. In this case, this is 260 grams. So I can measure more spools to be sure if it is around the same weight or not. But let's take 260 grams. This spool has still some left. I will put them on and I see that I got something like 5 grams. When I'm not going to use this, I'm going to write down how much filament I still have on the spool and not the entire weight of it. If I am done, I just put it away and I write the new value on it, so that I know exactly that I can still use this 5 grams of filament. Nice when you are using big projects. So as you can see, I've got here a little spool, or the same kind of spool, with also some filament on it. I had to change because now I'm going to print a bigger part which uses more filament. How much meters that are on the roll, it's not for me that relevant. It's more relevant how much weight I still have on my spool, so that I know exactly if I can print this thing or not. So I changed this afternoon, I changed the rolls to have a full spool on my Endo 3, so that I can use this for some other projects. So I'm going to weight this one. So take in account 260 grams. This one is 300. So that means I've got something like around 40 grams. I can print multiple calibration cubes, for example, or maybe other things for this purpose. So I'm going to put the clamp back on. Always when I do this, I try to use some tape but in this case I couldn't find it, so I take something like that. So like that you can save a lot of failed prints, because you don't want to have a printer running and then nothing comes out anymore and your print has failed. So that was hack number 1. I've got some other hack, and that's track sheets. When you are printing multiple parts, sometimes you can do it just with one piece of paper and writing down which parts you need to 3D print. But in this case, I'm printing the InMove humanoid robot, and it comes with multiple parts. This is an Excel sheet that I downloaded from the site from InMove.fr, and it comes for the 3D printing parts for the InMove robot. In this case, it says exactly in which kind of file the part is at, how the file is called, but also which kind of printer you are using for that, which kind of filament you are using. In this case, I'm printing everything in PLA plastic, and then also the color. Next to it, you have the measurement in length and in weight, and then also time. So in my case, I'm printing now the neck plate high, so that means the upper part and not the lower part. And for that, I need to check which kind of one I'm using at this moment. Is by this one, and I got my little post-it note underneath it so that I know exactly which line from this I'm printing, and then I know exactly that this print is something around the 10 hours and 19 minutes. So when I'm looking at my screen from the Ender 3, I see 7 hours and 54 minutes printed already. So it leaves something like 3 hours before this print is ready, and that means that I'm still can change it during this day. So that is also one hack for 3D printing. You can track everything with something like this, and if you have some spools left with some filament, and in this case I've got a spool with what is it, 5 grams, then I can use that for printing the smaller parts that are not that big and still can use that filament. So that was also one of the hacks that I have. I'm at a Facebook group called Creality and the 3D user group, and also the official Creality Facebook user group. One thing that I saw was this kind of thing. You have a streaming site called Twitch, and with Twitch I believe you can do live streaming with gaming and gameplay. But in this case, it's a very simple and easy to use way of tracking your 3D printing. So when I'm at work or somewhere else, then I can always check on my phone, logging in onto my Twitch account. I've got a different one for here than on the other one. I will put the link in the description when you are interested what I'm printing at that moment. When I'm online with Zachary 3D Prints, that's also the name of my Twitch account, then you can see what I'm printing. And yes, you cannot see whether I'm at home or not, because I'm focusing pure on my 3D printer and not my surroundings, and also audio is set on off. Today I had some great idea to put some music on it. I have it on repeat, so continuously you will hear some nice music during printing. So that being said, that was some other life hack that I had for the 3D printing. So that was it for today's video. This was life hacks for your 3D printing. Well, I call it life hacks. It can save your life, but it can also save your 3D printing. I think more for the 3D printing part than for your life. Something like that. That being said, thanks for watching. Please like this video, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you next time. Happy 3D printing, Zachary 3D Prints. See you next time. Bye bye.